My name's Brendan Hendry. I'm 19 years old. I was born and raised in Stoney Creek, Ontario, where I currently live still. I'm gay. I have been out for about a year now. Basically that's pretty much why I'm making this video. It's because all my life I have been made fun of for being different, if you want to call it. In elementary school, the kids were very uneducated on things. I don't know, you're a kid, you don't really know much about stuff. I can remember the earliest thing that happened to me involving bullying was grade 2. I was out on recess with my friends, and we were hanging outside, and this kid I didn't know at all, he comes up to me and he's just like, "Hey, queer," and he punched me in the face, like in the eye, and then pushed me against the fence and then walked away. And I had no clue what that meant, what queer meant. I did not know what that was. Grade 4 is when people started really using jokes about gay people, and I still didn't really grasp the concept of what gay people were or what sexuality was, and but I actually I got made fun of, and I was told I was gay. I'm assuming why it happened is because I was like the only boy in my entire grade that didn't play sports, didn't hang out with guys really. I was into art, drama, like music, books, and that was it pretty much. I didn't do anything, like, for back then it was like out of the social norm to do any of that, and if you were a guy it was even weirder. One of the worst moments in my life and one of the worst forms of bullying I ever had to go through was in grade 7. Our school had a merger with another one, and so all these brand new kids came in and kind of changed up the social dynamic of our entire school. And I remember I didn't know these 4 guys, and I had no clue who they were, but they hated me, and they were a year older than me. They were in grade 8. And I remember them coming up to me one day and just started saying, like, "Hey, queer, hey, faggot," and they would like kind of like poke at me, like they wanted a reaction, and I didn't give them one. And I think maybe I should have stuck up for myself, because I kind of, by not saying something, they kept doing it. Like, they knew I was weak, and so they went after me. I was the only one who they picked on out of the boys. They constantly harassed me every day of my life. I was not safe anywhere. I would be in the bathroom and they would make fun of me. I'd be walking down the hallway and they'd make fun of me. It traumatized me. It really did. I remember at that point in my life, I was kind of knowing what my sexuality was. I still was kind of confused, but I knew I knew I was gay. I just remember going into the library, this computer lab where we were all working on projects, and thinking to myself, I'm never ever going to admit I'm gay. Why would I want to constantly be degraded every day? I assume that in life gay people were just insulted every day, and that they were kind of like the outcasts of the world. So I remember telling myself, I was like, I'm gonna fake it. I'm never gonna come out. That's not gonna happen for me. And so after that, and like changing and growing up a little, they eventually left. They went to high school, and I became a grade 8, and I moved into grade 8. And they were gone, but what they said to me was still, it bugged me. I always felt when I was around people that they would be like, he's the faggot, he's the queer. Like, they kind of knew already. So I'd have a wall up in front of me, and I really honestly feel like those people did that to me. Like, I'm still the same. I have, like, put up a front to certain people I don't know, and I don't know, I have a problem with letting people in now because I'm scared they'll judge me. I didn't know what was going to happen to me if I was ever going to come out. I just remember it being a very dark time in my life, and like kind of like an identity crisis of not knowing what was happening. By high school, I was still being made fun of. There were instances where I would get a lead in a school play, and I heard that these guys were going to beat the shit out of me. I don't know the reason why. Someone just told me, you're gonna get your ass kicked if you go in the school play. So I dropped out of it. I had to do that twice in my life because of people bullying me. By grade 11, I kind of like started sticking up for myself more. I wouldn't put up with that. Like, it just got to the point where I was like, hey, no, this isn't happening anymore, and I tell them like, shut up or something like that. And I just grew, like, I got my confidence back. I don't know what it was, but I just said, I'm not gonna live my life a lie. Like, this is stupid. You know, like, I can't help it if I was like born this way, so whatever. I told a teacher, it was during when I quit the school play, I said, I'm not gonna be able to do the school play. And he was like, why not? And I was like, because people are gonna make fun of me, and they said they're gonna kick my ass. And he just said, oh, well, maybe next year. And then he walked away, and I remember just standing there, and I was thinking, what? Like, what? Okay. And then so after that, I never talked to a single teacher again. I was like, I have to do this on my own, I guess. Obviously, at every school, there's like a tolerance against bullying, but there's not an active person enforcing it. There's no one watching the kids like in the hallways. There's no one like really. Some teachers I felt turned a blind eye to it because they didn't want to get involved with it, because that like meant a whole nother matter. Like they were lazy. Give any advice for kids, I'd say that like you just have to pull through it. No matter how bad it gets. I don't want to be cliche, that's the thing, because I can't. It just, no matter how bad it gets, you have to like realize that you're gonna come into your own identity sooner or later, and you have to realize that you're at a time in your life where you don't really know who you are, and you think you do, but you don't. And the person I am today is nowhere near the person I was back then. And back then I thought, well, this is who I am, and I'm not the same person anymore. And sometimes I regret not being who I am now, because I wouldn't have put up with that shit. I would not have accepted any of that. I would not have been bullied. I feel like I would have been a more confident person, and I would have been a stronger person, but I wasn't. You have to go through it your own way. You have to do what you do. You just have to work it out yourself. Really. I would say, like, if you're in a school where there's active involvement in stopping bullying and all that stuff, you should get help for it if it's there. I didn't have that there for me. I survived, and hopefully people can too. It's just bullying. It doesn't define you. It's not who you are.